Well, so far I have 5 coats of Lust varnish on both of the spars. So let's take a look at the plans to see how we attach the Jib Club Tack Socket and the Gaff Jaws. The plans show that the gaff is attached with a gaff jaw and the Jib Club is attached with a Jib Club Tack Socket. So I'm going to make the tack socket first. It is a round tube that is 1 1/8 on the outside diameter here. And if I scale that off, you can see that it is 2 inches long. Now what this is it has 2 flanges on here. These are the 2 flanges, and this is where the sail would attach to the, or the jib would attach to the Jib Club. And then it has a bronze loop here that will attach to the Jib Club tack fitting that sits on the stem. Now this is a fairly complicated piece to cast because there's this slot in here and that it's hollow. So instead of casting it, I've decided that I would fabricate it. So in order to make the tack socket, I've got some materials here. The first thing is a piece of 1/8 inch thick bronze plate, a 1/4 inch bronze rod, and a bronze bearing that I purchased. So the bronze rod will be looped on top of the tack socket here, and that then will attach to the tack hook that is on the stem. Now, I bought this bronze bearing from McMaster Car, and I ordered a 1 1/8 inch outside diameter and a 7/8 inch inside diameter. And that will give me a 1/8 inch wall, which will be the same thickness then as my sheet here. Now, it looks thicker than that because it is. So it comes oversized this way and undersized in the inside dimension so that you can machine it down to the size that you want it. This piece is a 3-inch piece, so I'll have plenty of room to put this in a lathe jaw, and then I'll have this turned down exactly to that 1 1/8 inch diameter that I need. So my first step is to take this over to Steve's and get that turned down to the proper dimensions.
I'm going to give you a little bit more than that.
Okay.
At least for the start, and then I can move it over and go down. There it is.
Perfect. Yeah, take a look.
Here, get a good look at it.
Yeah. Wow. It feels nice. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now that I've got that cylinder made, I'm going to make these flanges. There's two of them here. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to make this little tang. So we'll get back to the club socket, which needs to be a 1/4 inch bronze rod. I took two sockets that measured 7/8 of an inch outside diameter to bend the rod around. Now that I have all of my parts made, I took the two flanges and spaced them apart about 1/2 an inch with a couple of nuts. I then beveled down the edges of the flanges so that it would somewhat fit around the curved tube. I'm going to silver solder all of the parts together, so I started by putting flux on all of those parts. Well, that completes the Jib Club with its tack socket. Now I'll epoxy this on later, but I want to put about 3 or 4 more coats of varnish on the Jib Club. So now that that's complete, I can turn my attention to the Gaff Jaws. The plans show all the information we need in order to build the Gaff Jaw. And it says that it should be made out of oak. I'm going to make mine out of ash. Now, I decided that I would make a full-size pattern of them. So to get started, I photocopied the plans so that I had them at 1/2 inch equals 1 inch. With those copies, I was then able to double them and draw a full-size pattern. So once I got the full-size pattern made, I then took some ash and I milled it out so that it's 3/4 of an inch thick. And once I got that done, I then transposed the pattern onto the ash and I cut that out on the bandsaw. So we can see I've got 2 pieces here. It'll fit like that. Now I left them longer and I kept this side flat so that when I take this to put it in to bend this, I can put that flat on the table and I've got enough material here to bend it up with. The plans here show that the bend up is pretty close to 30 degrees. Now, one of the things that I won't be able to do once those are steam bent is to finish off the inside here. And this part of the jaw needs to be round in profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to router the 2 inner edges here to make it round now. It also will help it steam a little easier because there'll be less material. So what I've got here is I put a couple of pieces of wood fastened onto this bench, and I'll take my blank here and I'll clamp it here, and then as it's steaming I'll bend that around. So the next step is to get a poly bag made for this. So while that piece of wood is steaming, I wanted to show you this little bench that I have here. It's pretty simple, just a rectangle made out of some 2x12s, but what's great about it is that I can get a clamp anywhere along here, like so. It's really great for scarfing joints or things like that, and also fastening down little jigs for steaming or such. Anyway, it's a pretty simple little thing, very handy. Unfortunately, it gets set to the side, and like a lot of horizontal surfaces in a shop, it gets piled with other things because it's a nice set of shelves also. I'm cutting open the plastic so that it can cool off and start to dry out. And the jaws are attached to the gaff with two 1/4-inch bolts that go through here. Now this bolt here goes through and it actually holds this tang in there. And the final thing here are screws. And they're screws because you can't go through this slot or the tang wouldn't be able to fold all the way down. And then the final piece that we need to make for our Gaff Jaws is this bronze loop here that will complete the jaws. I had disassembled the hardware for the Gaff Jaws so that I would be able to put several coats of varnish on here. So now I'm ready to reinstall all of that hardware. Well, that's it for the Gaff and the Jib Club. We're going to take a little break from spar making in the next episode and cast some specialty bronze parts for the boat. And I'm going to do that by the lost wax method using ceramic shell. So that should be a very interesting episode, and I hope you'll be able to join me on that one. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of the patrons on my Patreon account. It's with your help that I'm able to produce these videos. And if you aren't already a patron, I'd like to invite you to do so. Your help will be much appreciated. So that's it for this week. And remember, if you're going to make it beautiful.